welcome to an impromptu podcast on this channel. Not really been involved in the podcast scene much of recently, been doing my match previews, but yeah, back on this scene and back with a familiar face as well in Jamie Lawlor, host of Lawlor's Law. How you doing, Jamie?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. I'm driving home, but it's all legal because I am focusing on the road. But all is well, man. Thank you for having me on. It's lovely to speak to you again as well.
No worries, mate. And yeah, focus on the road, but also focus on this Blues chat. And I suppose it's a good thing to be able to bring back these podcasts with a win as well against top of the league Coventry, a 3-2 victory at home. And Jamie, I can just see you there like shaking your head and just sort of wanting to speak about it. So, what was your experience of that game?
My experience of the game was we got Cov at a good time. They looked ropey. Their defense looks a bit shaky at times, doesn't it? They've got a very good team. The way they knock the ball about, it's dangerous. I think two defensive lapses from us, really, because apart from that, they didn't really cause much damage in terms of clear cuts. Um, But I think that job to me looked like our Birmingham City were playing for a manager that they know could have his head on the line if nothing goes well today. Because it looked like every player gave everything they had and more.
Absolutely, and when I look at the game as well, like the time that we took the lead, because you felt that Birmingham taking the lead was going to be crucial for the outcome in the game and getting the fans on side, because you felt that if Coventry would have got the first goal, there could have been a bit of a different atmosphere around the place. But the fact that we got the goal at the time we did as well, and the scorer Marvin Dutch to give him a bit of confidence because he'd taken a bit of stick off the fans after the Watford game. So for him, it was a fantastic moment.
Incredible moment, incredible. Shout out to Wagner as well because that ball. Like, there's a reason it's called the assist machine in the MLS because and you saw it within 6 minutes. He's put probably one of the best deliveries we've seen this season over to Marvin, free in space, and that right there is your cultured Bundesliga style finish that we Marvin Dukes can produce, and you know what he's got about him.
And a debut as well for Kai Wagner, as you mentioned, like frustrating to the starting 11. And you heard him spoke after the game to like Blues TV and saying about that he was just ready to go. Like even though he'd only had one proper training session with the team, just coming off the back of the MLS season, he wanted to get involved. And I feel like he made a good impact. Obviously, getting man of the match as well, voted by the fans.
I feel like he's straight into your 11 from now on, isn't he? He's everything, and I love Alex Cochran, and I love what he tries to do. But I feel like no disrespect to him, I feel like Wagner's just that. Davis wants attacking fullbacks, hence why Iwata's picked up this crazy right back route where he suddenly appears up front. He wants his fullbacks pushing and advancing. Wagner has that defensive side to him where you could see he gets back. He made some great tackles. He took a yellow card on the break when he had to. He's a good fullback mixed with a very good attacking, very clean passing. You can see everything he does. He wants to go forward, and that's what Davis wants in his 11. So it's another quill to the bow, if you will, isn't it? He's a left-sided attacker that can whip in very good and dangerous crosses to your Marvin Ducks.
Forward thinking, I think, is what the Birmingham fans in the stands have been crying out for as well, because you saw
Yeah,
on Tommy's vlog about the sideways and backwards chant, which got like over 1 million views on X, by the way. It's just hilarious. And I feel like that performance against Coventry was the perfect response to it. And I just want to ask you, Jamie, about the home form versus the away form, because putting
yeah.
that performance in at home and then you start scratching your head to think like, why don't we show that urgency and willingness to attack and fearlessness away from home too?
Do you put it down to the fact that 28,000 Blue Noses all screaming for their team gives you an extra 5-10%? I think so. Do I think it's fear away from home? A little bit. Do I think we have a lot of a League One side who aren't, they can get behind their team when they're at home, but when they're away, it's a lot more daunting, a fear factor. And we seem to just go inside ourselves. I think we're very good at responding to the crowd. Every time we play at home, we have an early flourish, don't we? We always go for it early on. We always grit our teeth and show people what we're about. And I think when the ball's changed on us and we have to deal with that, I just don't think we've got the nous yet to deal with it. But I think it's a work in progress. I think the squad injuries have caught us up away from home, and I think we just need to show a bit more character away from home at times. We need to be more willing that our style might not work everywhere, and we need to. I'm good. I'm tangent here, but look at Coventry. We had 50% or less possession again, and the second tier podcast said it the other day because I listened to them quite a bit. Out of the 8 games we've done that, we've won 5 times. Out of the 18 games we've had more of the ball, we've won 4 times. We seem to be better, and it's probably suits us better away from home. Is do what we did on Sunday. Looks more like a 4-4-2 with Jay and Ducks, and just pounce on them on the counter. Pick the ball up. We have so much ability, and we have that little bit of extra pace this season where we look like we can. So Why? Because we're holding the ball too much and we're falling into a trap away from home where people can just counter attack us.
And you say there about sort of the change in approach, and I feel like it's changed from the start of the season to now with the amount of
Mm-hmm.
possession now that we're conceding as well, even like at home. And on the topic of Chris Davis, because I've seen like the messages that you put in group chats and that about Chris Davis and the frustration that you've had at times. So where do you stand after this result compared to before this game as well?
I am so in and out with this, right? I never want to see anyone lose their job who wears and represents Birmingham City Football Club at all. I love Davis as a person. I love his passion. I love what he brings. I think Sunday was a growth for him in terms of he did it a little bit in League One, but he usually doesn't change up how he approaches things. Whereas on Sunday, he knew we were under the hammer a little bit and he changed formation completely, went back five, kind of went, you know what, we need to sit out now. We'll try and push on the counter, but why not just soak up and see where we can go from there? And for me, that was growth to show that, no, actually, I need to just be solid in these last 25 minutes. Whereas before, how many times have we gone, oh, let's try and score again? Oh, we can't score. Oh, we've conceded. Like this time, it showed a bit of growth where he made mature subs. He made them earlier as well. And I think he's just slowly but surely, I want to keep him because I feel like he could be the one. I feel like he's got us playing so well at home. It's going to click at some point.
Mm,
It's got to.
I completely agree with you actually about the substitutions and the time that he made them because it was that triple sub, wasn't it, of Kyogo, Williamson, and Samstead, making that sub and changing the shape at the time that he did. That's something that actually, as you say, is another feather to his cap in the fact that he can change and be adaptable with the players that he's got. Because in the Southampton game, I feel like we kind of done that, but we're unlucky, obviously, with what happened with the referee and everything. But it was a real opportunity, this Coventry one, to highlight, I suppose, the players that are on the edge of the team, like the fringes, the players that are not your
Yeah.
go-tos, but because of necessity, played and actually played a really good role in the team as well.
More than anything, I've been screaming for justice for Fujimoto. So to see him get a couple of minutes, I was ecstatic. That kid's got ability. There is a reason so many teams wanted him in the summer, and we need to show why. I think he starts on Sunday in the FA Cup as well. That's what I'm curious to see is how Davis responds in the FA Cup. Does he go for it? He'll play a B team on Sunday. How far could we go? It's interesting.
It's interesting actually because when I was doing my audio description commentary at the game, where I am is like sort of in the same batch of areas like as the media, so like I had Talksport behind
Yeah,
me
yeah.
and then like Radio Hospital commentary like next to me as well, and just below me is the families of the players. And I think two rows down from below me was Fujimoto's family because when he came on as a substitute, his mum like stood up with like this JVC camera and started filming and cheering and that. And I thought, what a nice moment that is because he's barely played a minute this season. But then when he has come on, it's in a situation where we're winning and he's on the pitch when the final whistle goes and the fans are ecstatic. So like for his sort of family traveling over to see that, that must have been a fabulous moment for a player that's not featured too much this season.
I hope he does though. He looked good as well. I know it was only a couple of minutes, but he looked sharp.
I think so as well. And looking forward to that Cambridge game, you'd say that it'd be a good opportunity for him to play a lot of minutes in the game. Is there any other players that you'd like to see feature in that game too?
I want to see Kyogo get another start. And I know everyone's angry because he hasn't scored yet. But the two games he started this week, Southampton, he was unlucky not to score. He could have done much better with that one on one. But he's harrowing for defenders. The defenders don't know whether they're coming or going against him, and something's got to give at some point. Um, I'd like to see a couple of the youth prospects that have appeared on the bench because to be on the bench of Birmingham City, you've got to have some nous about you. So I want to see what we're saying with these youth players. I want to see how good they actually are. I'd like Stamstead to get a bit more game time. Who else would I like? I just, yeah, I'd just like to see the utilisation of the full squad. Like Maxwell on my podcast, Lawlor's Law, very famously says you're as strong as your bench that comes on, and our bench seems to be for some of this season a lot weaker when we make changes. So I'd like to see some of them flourish a bit more in games and have a bit of a go. And yeah, I'd like to just see you can use have a game and give Allsop another game, man. Like I feel bad for Allsop because I don't think he did too much wrong. Players like that would be enjoyable to watch and have a bit of a game time on.
Part of me actually thinks
For me,
that I'd like us to pick a full strength team just to try and get that monkey off of our back in regards to actually winning away from home. So I feel like once the team
yeah,
does that and actually wins a game away from home, then that's a bit of a psychological barrier like removed. Whereas we pick a team that's
yeah.
like less strong, then there could be a bit of a problem with Cambridge having more of the game than what they would have with a full strength team. So there's definitely two ways of looking at it, isn't there?
I imagine he'll go squad rotated, but with a strong old bench. So in terms of if they go one or two up, he'll lob you Stano on, he'll lob you Duck on, he'll throw all the big dogs on. Patrick Roberts will appear. He'll just go, you know what, like, and oh, another player I'd like to see start, Scott Wright. He was on the bench. Scott Wright will probably get a start on Saturday or Sunday. Is it? We're playing Saturday. It's for 3 o'clock
Yeah, Saturday
Saturday, isn't it?
evening.
Yeah. So that'll be nice. I'd like to see Scott Wright to get a game time. How far's Buchanan off? I don't think he's ready yet, but it'd be nice to see what bench he plays. It nice, and I would like to advance a little bit in the FA Cup, and I would like to see a win away from home. So and that's why I'm saying start Kyogo because at some point it's going to give, and if he gets it in the FA Cup against Cambridge, we take it.
Because Cambridge themselves are in like decent form in League Two, and their fans are going to be up for it as well, I imagine. So that'd be a good game to watch, and I'll have a match preview coming out for that before we play Cambridge on Saturday. So stay tuned on the channel for that. But throwing forward to the January transfer window, there's been a lot of talks as to who's going to leave and who's going to come in. Have you seen anything yourself that suggests that we're going to bring in a player or a player is going to leave?
I imagine we're going to bring in players. I think we've all discussed a lot that like the last 2 years, Wagner and Brady keep cards quite close to their chest. With that, I think signings are in the loom. I imagine we're not going to have called Amelia Hansen back off loan to sell him. We're not going to have all these links with Dykes, who's going to go. Leonard's not featuring, so Leonard could go. Williamson could go. There's all these rumours. Keshi. We're not gonna we're not gonna fob off 5, 6 players, be left with a squad of 19 in youth without them having a plan. They've got something in the works. I just know they will. Deadline
And
day fun with Blues.
oh yeah, well we had it even in the summer window, didn't we? With Robertson Robinson coming in, and them two have been pretty instrumental in the last few games for us. But with the players that are coming in, is there anybody in particular that's out there that you'd go that would be a good Birmingham transfer? That's what we need.
Um, I still firmly believe we could do another centre mid would be great for me, just in terms of squad depth. We need some centre midfielders. A number 10, wonderful. And maybe another striker, because if Linden goes, you're left with Jay, who operates pretty much as a 10 at the minute, or Flexi. And then you've just left with Dux and Kyogo. Like, oh, like if you gave me an ideal signing, give me Che Adams, but is it going to happen? I don't know. Like, I doubt it.
Mm.
There's footballers that have your heart, isn't there? And he's one of them who we all love. Like, I'd also sing an advocate for Duke to come out of retirement for 6 months just so he could have 10 years and have a testimonial. So, what do I know?
People coming out of retirement to have like one last ride. It seems very WWE, but I don't think that's going to happen. And I feel like Chad Adams may be a bit of a summer move, mightn't it? That's like the marquee
Yeah,
transfer to look forward to at that moment. But I've actually wrote down a couple names of players that I've
go
seen
on.
that haven't played many minutes at their squads, and I just wanted to see what you thought of these players. So you said there about like midfielders and central midfielders because it looks like Leonard's going to be leaving because he didn't feature against Coventry, and you'd imagine he'd want to get more minutes because he's a player that deserves more minutes. But as a replacement, we've done a lot of deals with Rangers in the past, and a player that isn't playing many minutes for them is Joe Rothwell, who used to play for
Yeah,
Leeds and Bournemouth and Blackburn. And he's someone that I feel would go into the category of a experienced championship midfielder that's comfortable with the ball, that's had success in the past with promotions. I feel like
yeah.
that's someone that we could go after, but I've heard that Sheffield United are interested too.
I think Rothwell is a very good player. He's a centre defensive midfield kind of player,
Mm,
isn't he? Breaks up play, knocks it about. I wouldn't be against it. He's quality. He's had championship quality. Has he played Prem? I think he has, hasn't he?
yeah,
Yeah. Why not? No, we need them. We need them kind of players. Like in an ideal signing situation, I know if we get promoted, we definitely get him. But I'd be throwing money at Wolves now for Tommy Doyle's signature. If you want another one who I want permanently, Doyle.
because I believe there is
And
a option to make that deal permanent, but would you say to just like throw money at now to make that deal permanent straight away?
I don't know how true it is. I've heard if we get promoted, the obligation is we have to pay 10 million to have his name. Like we have to buy him. And
Mm.
I'm not against that. He's worth 10 mil by far. Like, and he's look, and if you go on to Sunday's performance, he was instrumental. I think he covered every blade of grass towards the end of that game. That guy ran everywhere, put tackles in, great skill, kept us composed when we're under pressure. He's so good. Like, but Rothwell would also be a very classy signing, and he'd give you that ability to give your Paik and a Watter a rest because Paik must be exhausted. He's played every game, I think.
Mm,
Iwata must be shattered in this right back, inverted right back role. Like, there's only so far this team can go with only so much energy they've got.
because
We
Paik and Iwata's
need,
two names that Chris Davis picked out actually after the game when he was interviewed by like Birmingham on YouTube to say that those two have just run themselves into the ground at the moment, especially with Paik with that head injury that he picked up as well in the Coventry game.
absolute Spartan. Like, either way, he just got his head bandaged up and just carried on. I was like, I love that.
And I'll whittle off a few names here. So, what would you think for a return for Kieran Dow?
I liked Dowd. I really did. And he's a very possession based footballer. You can see he's not great defensively, but when you're on the ball, he's wonderful and he'll knock it about. My fear is, again, if you want to break the away mold, I think you need to move on from Kieran Dowd. I like him, but I feel like away from home, when you're under the cosh, I feel like he'll be one of them players that just kind of tries but can't get into the game. He needs to be put into a game. He needs to have the ball and play with the ball. He's that kind of a player. We need workhorses. We need dogs right now.
I think two other players as well, like moving forward to the wingers. So Yang is someone that we've been linked to quite a bit from Celtic. He was like rumored to be close to a move in the summer on deadline day, but then we moved away from him and then got Roberts. Is that someone that we could go in for again, especially with the turbulence at Celtic at the moment?
I believe so, and I think especially mixed with Dimmy, I'm hearing different reports, but Dimmy's out for a little bit at least with a calf strain, from what I've been told. I can't confirm or deny. Yeah, we need wingers. We need pacey wingers as well, and footballers. So it's all well and good having pace, and but I need someone who can put a good delivery in or is clever. And that Yang looks like the ideal.
Yeah, and another one as well. This is a bit of a rogue shout, but having looked through the free agents list, what's something that's interested me is that the players now that have become free agents after the MLS season. So from January the 1st, there's a load of players that were playing in America that now don't have a club. And one of
Yeah,
them is Ryan Kent from Seattle Sounders, who's been released from there. And it feels like a bit of a Jamie signing. Like,
football manager legend. This man,
yeah.
a
So what do you
football
think about
manager
him?
legend, and those who played FIFA 18, if you know, you know, you know, he was a god. Um, I'm not against it. I'm all about it for the memes. I'm all about that for buying a shirt with Ryan Kent on it. I think if memory serves, very good winger, both footed as well. Kind of ideal what you want. Got a bit of pace about him. Why not? We need squad depth and we need good players who have played. Like, I couldn't believe when we signed Wagner that the amount of Blues fans that were saying, but it's the MLS, it's not a high level. And I'm like, that league's gotten so much better in the last 5 years, easily. Like, the footballers that play in the MLS now, yes, are they older? Yeah. But you're still coming up against Lionel Messi, Suarez, Busquets, Alba. Like, you're coming up against back in that world class footballers. So I'm not against anyone who comes from any league for Birmingham City. If they can do a job, they can do a job.
Absolutely,
Bring me.
and
What I'm trying to say is yes, Brian Kent. Yes, absolutely, love it.
and the striker that scored against us for Derby, Ajiman, he came from the MLS and
Yes,
he was signed for 7 million.
I'd be all about him as well. He was the centre half who I think give Christoph Clara the most problems to me this season in terms of power in the air. Clara dominates the air. That was the one time I've looked and gone, Clara doesn't look comfortable here. Like,
So Craig Gardner, if you're listening, there's your shortlist for some transfers. Like,
yeah,
I'm sure they're using some AI marketing thing to stretch their net throughout Europe and across Asia as well, and they'll probably find someone that we've never heard of that does a solid job.
I hope so. I trust this board. I do. I think I've questioned recruitment a lot because I feel like we got players in, but I feel like we gambled on certain situations and it didn't bail us out. I.e., your left back signing and your cover was Jack Robinson. We all know he's a centre half now, and Erin Cashin all know he's a centre half. He does a job at left back. Don't get me wrong, but we kind of pinned our hopes on. You knew from the start of the season Buchanan weren't back till January. We needed left back. Yes, you've done it day one of deadline day, January, and we're grateful for that. But I think sometimes we kind of just sit back and hope and gamble, and we need to take that out of our game and build a squad. We all knew this winter period was going to be tough, and my God, was it tough. Like,
And for the rest of January, what are your predictions for these games? Because we've got Swansea away from home, which is like televised, and then you've got a couple of games, and then you go into February. So like with this bit of a quote unquote break that we have now until Saturday, what you expecting from the team moving forward and also in the market.
I think just pull away from the bottom half now. We're 13th or 14th, aren't we, at the minute, after results? Like, pull away a little bit. No, right. I can only speak for myself when I say this. I will joke and say, yeah, we're going up. If you would give me anywhere between 12th and 8th this season, I would have bit your hand off for it. And I think that's a respectable finish for us first season back up. Like, and I think we can get mid-table and we'll be happy in 12th and 8th. I think your first season you need to consolidate back in the Prem. I think apart from the the ones who wear gold across the other part of the Midlands and Ipswich, not really many teams have done the double promotion sketch. Wrexham, it was from a pub league and now they're in the Championship. I ignore that. But Wrexham are doing good. It's all about consolidate season one and then let's look at it. Could we have a late playoff push? Everyone could. Every team has one after Christmas. It's renowned that there's always one team that appears out of nowhere. So could it be us? And could we scumbag a sixth place finish? Probably. But anywhere 12th or above, I'd be very happy. But I'd also be happy just getting into April going, we're not in a relegation battle. How nice is this? Like,
Mm. Yeah, exactly.
keep me
Yeah, I
away
think
from the bottom six. Just keep me away. I just bleed. I can't. 10
no,
years
no
of
more
seven
drama
people
towards the bottom
below.
of the table around about that May
Yeah.
time. Like I feel like 2 seasons ago was like the pinnacle of it, and then hopefully we don't get near that point.
I don't think my heart's ready for it. Like, to go down on 50 points still to this day stings.
Mm. Yeah,
Like,
absolutely. And I think we'll end the episode on that. So we don't have to speak about that anymore. But
yeah.
thank you so much for your time, Jamie, and your insight. Just let us know, like for the people that are listening, I'm sure they know about your podcast anyway, but like future plans for yourself going forward.
Yeah, so I've started a podcast. It's on YouTube. It's called Lawlor's Law. I know, great name, isn't it? Look us up. It's me. It's my friends Jordan, Max, and Jonathan. And basically, we just are old complaining heads where we just whinge about stuff at Birmingham City and kind of go raw, unfiltered Birmingham City podcast where we just talk about anything and everything. What's irritated us this week? Who's annoyed us? It's a bit sweary, so disclaimer, I wouldn't let your kids listen to it. But it's fun. It's fun, get involved, let the word know. It's a great laugh. Appreciate it.
Brilliant. Thanks so much for your time, Jamie. And as for me this week, I'll have the Cambridge preview coming up after this video and before Saturday as well. So make sure to stay tuned for that. And hopefully we can get some more podcasts going with me, yourself, Jamie, and also Tommy as well. So yeah, share it out
Yeah.
amongst the channels and just grow our channels from there. So yeah, thank you so much for listening. Keep running.
Here on.